Hello everybody, this is the Nerf Gun Reviewer 331 here today. Now today's review is going to be on the Zone CrossBow, and I can already say this is a horrible name for a gun. If you're just going to call it the crossbow or a crossbow, it doesn't make sense to me, but whatever. Now before I get into the video, or the actual review, I would like to mention that the Zone CrossBow is compatible with the Nerf arrows, or the Zone arrows, or whatever they're called. So if I had to say load this in, fits in pretty nice and easy. Pull it all the way back, shoots pretty far, pretty fast, and a little bit hard. So try the Zone arrows. Same thing. So that's like a major pro right there. So if you have those big bad bow foam arrows just laying around, you got yourself 3 backups or something like that. Because these Zone arrows, even though I don't have much of a, I do have a big house, or live in a big house. These are hard to come by, and if you lose one of these, they're pretty valuable in that case, unless you modify this gun. Otherwise, yeah, like I said, it's very hard to find those arrows. But if you have like these BBB arrows just lying around, or a bunch of them, you're all set for this thing. I still have the old 3 I have from this BBB that's on the ground right next to me, but right now it's modified and I can't use it. Can't use the arrows with them. But getting into the review, this Zone CrossBow, Zone CrossBow, is really cool, and I like some of the things it has, some of the features, some of the details, and it kind of reminds me from 2 video games. Sorry to bring up video games, but thankfully it's not from Call of Duty or Battlefield, none of those. It's going to be from Gears of War 3 or Gears of War 2, Gears of War 3, and Gears of War Judgment, I think. It kind of reminds me and resembles sort of a torque bow, where you would have to pull this thing back, put an arrow in, and if you tilt it sideways, it just reminds me of a torque bow. Of course, the trigger's back here. Another thing it reminds me of is the Assassin's Creed crossbow from Assassin's Creed. The Assassin's Creed Brotherhood video game, where if Ezio, like there was a mission where Ezio was, I think, being stealthy at some castle or something, I don't know. He was trying to get Cesare Borgia, or whatever his name was. He was trying to hunt him down, so he pulled out his crossbow and just, fired a bolt pretty easily. Pretty quiet, pretty silent. So, yeah. I gotta stop dry firing this gun. But I've also heard this is a pretty easy gun to modify. There's only looks like 8 screws, and that's an easy number for me to let's just say that if I have more than 10 screws to keep track of, and they're all different sizes, I tend to screw up on where the screws are at, and kind of screw up the gun, and then so forth. And I screwed up and lost a bunch of money. But if it's less than 10 and they're all the same size or different sizes, it doesn't matter. As long as it's less than 10 screws, I can deal with it. But it's a pretty cool gun. Seeing that it's compatible with BBB arrows and Zone arrows, it's always a good thing. We get more backup ammo from different places and different brands and such. Pros and cons. Let's get into the pros and cons. The pros, I'm going through the list I have in the description in every review, except for the Nitron. I forgot to put that in. But let's see. Pros. The pros for this gun, it's actually pretty handy in some situations. So, say like you have a guy charging. That wasn't supposed to happen. What I was trying to do is you pull it out. First you cock it, of course. You pull it out and go shoot your opponent with it, and that's easy. That's like a quick, easy kill. If modified, I've heard if you modify this thing, it goes pretty far. I'm thinking about just doing the air restrictor removal because that's easiest and doesn't require much work. I also heard the spring is kind of big and hard to modify, I think. But I think I'll just do the AR removal. But I could be wrong on all this modding stuff for this gun, but whatever. God dang it, I did it again. Okay, so let's see, the pros and cons. Getting back to the pros and cons. The pros, the range is pretty good actually. If I do a test fire just now, I'll use one of the BBB arrows because I haven't tested that yet. Okay, so the BBB arrows are pretty poor. They don't really go that far. They go about a good 20-25 feet stock. If I do this, the same angle. Surprisingly, the Arizona arrows go a lot further, and that looked pretty weird when I was holding the gun like this. Okay, so yeah. Another pro would be just all the things I just mentioned about the Gears of War torque bow and the crossbow from Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, where you can hide it here and just go whoop, you know. Let's see, what else? Another pro, I guess, for the modding potential, it would be, I had to do that. For the modding potential, it's a pro and a con. I mean, the air restrictor is going to be pretty easy since there's like 6 to 8 screws you have to take out. But like I said before, the modding potential, there's nothing much to modify at all. So yeah, that's also a con. Another pro that would be that the range. And this is also another con. The BBB arrows do not shoot that far at all, stock. But with this gun and the darts that came with this gun, it shoots pretty far. Farther than the BBB, which surprised me a lot. But the BBB arrows I have with me are pretty beaten up, so that's also understandable. A little flimsy. What else? Let's see, another pro would be that they're pretty accurate. What else? The reload time is pretty basic, meaning you just do this, pull the trigger, put the arrow back in, do that again. And yeah. If you're wondering why I'm sweating, it's about 1,000 degrees in this room. It's not because I'm just, you know, talking and then sweating because I'm talking. It's more the lines of this room is 1,000 degrees and I wish it was a lot colder. Even though it's like 8 or 7 p.m. right now, and it's usually very cold in the fall. But anyway, I gotta stop dry firing this gun. Let's see, another pro would be its mobility is actually pretty good. Mobility as in, if you were to have it, you know, say right here, it's pretty easy to take it out and just go boom, reload, boom. If you had it, you know, right here, you just, you know, pull it out and just go whoop, boom, 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 you know. And of course, if this was your primary, it's pretty decent. I think this does have a little bit more potential, but like I said about the spring, I don't think it will as much. But I don't know what I'm saying about the mining potential. I don't know. I'm getting a little confused on the mining potential on this thing, but I'll stop talking about it. Let's see, another pro. Like I said before, another pro would be the overall design about this thing. It just reminds me of so many games. Well, 2 games actually. It reminds me of 2 games, and its power is pretty good. I mean, if it's up close, I mean, you could easily puncture anything, but it goes pretty fast up close. But when far away, it floats like a feather. Just go. Ooh. Yeah, a feather does not sound like that. It doesn't make all those sound effects. Let's get right into the cons. The cons about this gun. Let's see. It only comes with three arrows, which is pretty low. I wish it would be a little bit more, like 5 or 7, but that would, I guess, in their case, it would be a lot more money. And despite the fact that you only put like 1 arrow in here, and that's really it. I mean, that's expected from a crossbow, but they should at least have like a semi-automatic crossbow. That would be pretty cool from Zone. I would definitely buy like 3 of those, but yeah. Another con, and I actually thought this to myself when I bought it. I was wondering if I could maybe add a stock and a trigger and everything, like a trigger right here and a stock that extended to about here. So then I have a crossbow just like this, the next generation crossbow. Of course, without the scope and everything, and not painted black. Okay, so rate of fire. The clip size, like I said before, is pretty low. The reason why I say clip size is it's the easiest thing I can remember that reminds me of ammo and size and everything. Ammo size, ammo capacity. I don't know how you spell. I know how to spell capacity, but I don't know if I'll spell it correctly and all this other stuff. So I go with clip size because it's easier to remember. What else? Another con. Let's see, I already mentioned the arrows. The range on the BBB arrows are pretty poor, but the Arizona darts are pretty good. I guess that's really it. So without further ado, I'll end the video now. The overall, the specialty. Forgot about that. Before I end the video just now, forgot about the specialty of this gun. The specialty on this gun is its ability to be compatible with some older darts, such as the Nerf Big Bad Bow darts that come with the gun. Maybe the Blazing Bow, I'm not sure if they use the same darts or the same foam arrows or whatever. And the Arizona arrows, of course, work with this gun. And that's the specialty. So, without further ado, I'll end the video now. The overall score on this gun would be 9 out of 10. Now, the reason why I lost points is 2 major factors, and this is 0.5 for each one. The clip size is significantly, it's like 3, and you can easily lose those 3 pretty easily. I already lost 2 of them, and I don't know where I put them, or threw them at, or whatever. The other con is, I think just the, I don't know, just the lack of a trigger and a stock would be the other thing. Or an ammo holder of some sort. But without further ado, I'll end the video now. Hope you guys enjoyed this this Arizona crossbow review. It is a very cool crossbow. I might use it in a few films. But without further ado, I'll end the video now. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And I'll see you guys later. I almost coughed up my dinner.